kettle pot. Recording in, recording in progress.
Recording in
Fine.
progress.
Way to get me off my rant by just turning the mic on. Nice job. Fran,
Carlo.
you know which episode this is.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad. Would you like to tell the people what episode? This is massive. Massive.
That's what
Do you know
she
how many
said.
YouTube/podcast things do not make it to 10 episodes?
So 10 weeks is like a fifth of a year. And we have had a week where we didn't record something. So technically we started this 11 weeks ago. That's that's nearly 3 months
Yeah. And
of
most people don't
wasting
know
our time.
that we had an episode that we completely scrapped because the sound was bad.
Yeah.
So it's 12 weeks.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's 3 months. It's a quarter of the year.
And most of the people only discovered us last week when we had a guest on that they were interested in some news that we had to share. So welcome back, guys.
Are they saying we should have guests on? Is that what they're trying to say without saying it? As if we're not good enough for them?
I think maybe we're not that interesting.
This is me looking at them. What's their problem? We're fine.
We're fine.
We're fine.
We're fine.
So, last week in
it was a
the
big
community
week.
news, we actually had.
Community news.
I was really excited that we got tabbed to break some what I think is pretty major OCR news. How about you?
It was pretty major OCR news, and it was really hard to keep it secret. And yeah,
It was, and I was really concerned that that was not going to be the case. So,
but it was, and everyone did a great job, and it was fun. And now it's announced, and World Toughest Murder is coming to the UK in a year's time, and I'm so excited. I get to host y'all.
Castle, Beaver Castle, Beaver Castle,
Beaver.
Belvoir. I was talking to someone about it yesterday, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw your thing." So they're having it somewhere where there's like that fake castle, and I was like, "This is not Disney, my dear. That's an actual real castle.
That's a real castle.
Actual royals.
I mean,
royals adjacent.
Dukes and duchesses.
The Duke is proper, from what I understand. And the Duchess came from the commoners
marrying.
Right?
I mean, they're still not commoners, though. That's the thing. These commoners, they ain't commoners. They ain't like you and me, love. They ain't. No.
Really?
Oh, yes.
So
we're both tired.
So community news. I want to get into your experience at ETM and your thoughts on it and everything and all things ETM, because that's really the biggest thing that happened last week.
Well, it really was.
One thing, like I think you mentioned that the interesting thing about our episode last week is that it definitely brought some people to our show, I think, for the first time.
Yeah, and we've done a really good job of making this an exciting and dynamic and interesting introduction for the new people who joined us for the first time last week and are now giving the next episode a chance. Yeah.
And in fact, I wanted to actually shout a person out. There's a gentleman named Robert Hamilton. I don't know if you know him.
Robert Hamilton.
He's clearly from the UK. I don't know if he's related to
Alexander.
That was my first guess. Alexander Hamilton, most likely. And probably, what's his name? The Formula One racer guy who's won like 7 world championships. Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, yeah, he is a person. I was like, dun, 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 dun. Max Verstappen. No, that's not Hamilton.
That's like, is there a song that goes like that?
Yeah. So funny off the.
Let's go.
Okay, so a couple of years ago, I went to this thing called Bongo's Bingo, which is really, really good fun. I don't know if you've ever played bingo before, but if you haven't, and if you're coming to OCRWC on Friday night, I'm going to be hosting a bingo night, and it's really good fun. But anyway, so I went to this bingo night, and it's huge. It was at the 9X Arena, which is where they hold High Rocks in Manchester. So it's big. It's a really big place. It's full of people playing bingo. And then after we'd done the bingo and everyone had a few drinks, they like played this music that was dun, 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 and they got the audience to sing, the Tories, dun, 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 the Tories. And I posted that on my TikTok just before the election, and it did very, very well, and like, went micro viral, and loads of people were like, da, 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 Max Verstappen. And I didn't realize that there was a Max Verstappen version rather than the Tories. And although, obviously this is not a political show and nobody has any beliefs. So there is a song that goes da, 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 Max Verstappen.
But are they saying a word before Max Verstappen?
Dun, 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 dun. Max Verstappen.
Oh, but they're not saying, because you said they're saying the Tories. Are they saying Max Verstappen?
No,
Or
because
no, they're just saying
Max Verstappen is
it's
the
the
same
same
amount of syllables as
syllables. Okay,
the
I got it. I
Tories.
got it. I'll have to look it up. I'm sure if I play it, we'll get copyright struck. Oh, wouldn't that be
Probably.
fun
It
to
would
say we
be.
got copyright struck?
Yeah.
Anyway, Robert Hamilton, sorry, the poor guy's like, what are you talking about me for? You tagged me in this. He and now we know about bingo bongo night
Bongos
or whatever that
bingo.
bongo's bingo night, which I do like bingo.
Yeah, come at OCWC and play bingo with me.
Okay.
Maybe if
Oh,
Dustin
but it's gonna
doesn't
be like
come.
Sunday night, right? That's when I
No,
go
no,
home,
it's
I
gonna
think.
be like Friday night. If Dustin doesn't
Oh.
come, you might have to host the bingo night with me.
Okay. Really?
Because,
I'll do that. I'll
well,
totally do that.
I mean, Dustin
Uh,
hosted the trivia night with me last year, but who knows if he's going to be there this year or not? And I don't,
all
maybe I need
right.
a friend.
So once again, Robert Hamilton, he clearly went back and like watched just about all of our episodes and
Robert,
made comments on 6 of our 9 videos. And they were all
this,
very, very nice. And one of them, in fact, was like, we need to get this video shared more often. People need to see this. And I was
hi,
like, what a gentleman.
what a
So
gentleman. I feel bad
I
for
also
taking up so
noticed,
much of his time.
yes, thank you, Robert Hamilton, who's probably related to Lewis Hamilton,
Alexander,
most likely,
Alexander,
and Alexander Hamilton, too. Yes. All the Hamiltons in the UK come from the
Julie
same bloodline,
Hamilton, Julie Hamilton.
clearly. And also, our friends at Obstacle Running Adventures
Yes, those guys.
have been watching some and commenting as well. And Mike actually corrected us on Mike Stefano corrected us on some of our Mario Brothers
Oh, I don't know anything about
knowledge.
Mario Brothers.
Like
When did we
evidently
talk?
the squirrel suit.
When
Remember
did
this
we talk?
flying squirrel suit that we talked
When
about?
did we talk about Mario Brothers?
Like episode 2.
I don't remember that.
Like 12 weeks ago or 8
I don't
weeks ago,
remember
whatever it was.
that.
Evidently that squirrel suit from Mario Brothers has a name, and he told me the name, and I don't remember.
Is it le suit de écureuil?
Yay, I get to use that graphic now.
I was walking through the park
That's like
this
a
weekend
thing.
with Evelyn, and she just went squirrel and ran off.
I need to put that we need to put that graphic on a t-shirt
Yes.
and wear it like at Worlds or something. Okay.
Okay. So thank you for relaying those. So I have this thing where if I do anything, particularly that goes onto YouTube, I will never once, not ever, read any of the comments. So if anyone says anything nice to me, I'm not going to see it. If anyone says anything mean to me, that's why I don't read the comments, because I don't need to know. So anyone says anything nice, I appreciate it, but tell him and he'll tell me. If you want to say something mean, don't. I can't take it. I really can't.
I constantly have, I don't know if you're like this as an ADHD person. I constantly have a song in my head at all times. It changes daily, it seems. Right now,
dun 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 dun.
bum. Seriously, it's like
Max
it is just
Verstappen.
yes.
Boom, 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 boom.
Anywho, Fran, as a participant of the Europe's Toughest Mudder weekend, why don't you give us a rundown? What was it like? How was the weather? How were the obstacles? How was the course? How did you do personally? What did you like, dislike? What would you have done differently? What could you have done better? What could you
I don't
have
think
done?
I'm going to have time after you've given me a list of what to talk about.
Well, then get moving, girl. I got other things too.
You could have said that to me on Saturday night, to be honest. So yeah, so this was my first ever Tough Mudder event. Obviously I've been to World's Toughest Mudder and I've done the hot lap, but that doesn't, I've been a couple of times. I've done the hot lap, but that doesn't count as taking part. So I was like, and we all know the story, which I won't go into. So this is my first ever Tough Mudder. Great. Starting with the basics, easy check-in. A few like iffy things, like Jason had to have a USA OCR membership in order to take part. So this was a weird thing. In order to take part, I had to have a British Obstacle Sports membership. So I had to sign up the day before for British Obstacle Sports membership. And I was like, does Jason need one? Because he's American. And they were like, no, but he needs to be a member of USA OCR. Or US OCR or whatever it's called. And that took like 20 minutes for them to go through because they don't send you a membership email or anything, which was a bit annoying because I was like, oh, that's an extra 30 quid on top of everything. And I get it, and I should support all of that, but
is that going to be the case?
That's going to be the
news.
case. Yeah, that's going to be the case, I guess, for everyone taking part at World's Toughest Mudder. I assume so. They're going to need either a British Obstacle Sports or their local country federation.
You want me to do? I'm going to cross. I'm gonna literally go back into our super secret group chat that we had last week
Mm.
and pose that question.
All right. And
Because
then maybe we
I
can
think
put
it's
some text on
important.
here with the actual information about whether that's true.
Yeah, that's really important to know. That's a big deal because
People need to
I would
sort that
not
out.
have known that at all. So
I think for USA OCR, it's actually, or US OCR, it's free. The membership is free, so people just have to get it. But for other ones,
yep.
it is, you do pay. So anyway, so we did that. Then we went and we found our pit area, and it was okay. We didn't have the best pit area, but we set up, and that was good. And then we hung around for a few hours, and then we started the race,
Yeah.
which was fun. Like it was all, everything was easy. Everything was super easy. It was a nice big festival village. They had loads of different food. They had vegan only options, which was great. So they had lots of different food. They had alcohol, they had coffee, they had
Ooh.
donuts, they had loads of different food. That was good, really good. Lots of stuff going on there, which I assume would be the same for World's Toughest Mudder, but who knows? Plenty of bathrooms, very important.
Oh, important.
So and then the race started at 8 with a 25-second countdown, and me and Jason were like 25 seconds. And yeah, it was good. So the course was, this isn't the course where World's Toughest Mud is going to be. I feel really weird talking to you whilst you're texting. I'm really
I know.
struggling.
I'm sorry.
I'm really trying, but I'm struggling. I'm sorry. So anyway, so this one.
You're right. You're right. That was
I'm sorry.
I looked like some coverage that I saw earlier this year of an event where the whole live stream was just somebody staring at their phone the whole time. Not that I have a picture of that.
No, and I don't know what you're talking about at all. Anyway, so yeah, so Jason asked before the race, and he was like, "Do you know if there's any elevation?" And I was like, "There's a hill," and everyone laughed at me. But there was a hill, so like the first 4
I
kilometers
saw,
was
yeah.
basically a big hill uphill, and then it was downhill, and that actually worked really well for me because I'm lazy. So what I did was like I ran for the first bit, and then it became a hill, so I just power hiked up the hill, and then I ran downhill. And after I did the Morzine coverage a couple of weeks ago with my friend Martin, who's a very good trail runner, and he was talking me through how you run downhill, and I was like, well, let's just go, and I just kermited it downhill.
Oh, did you do the
I just let myself yeah,
I'm out of
I was
control, but
really
I'm not out of
loose,
control?
and it was great. And that first lap, there were no obstacles open. I did a
Yeah.
nice speedy lap for me. It was like an hour and 4 minutes. I was very pleased with that. Pitted very quickly, put some neoprene on, couldn't eat anything, so shoved a gel down my bra, which was super delicious. It was a maple syrup gel. Went out on my second
Ooh.
lap. A couple of obstacles were open, did some water obstacles, they were fine. I've got some really bad shoulder problems, so like I was starting to hurt a bit on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Couldn't do Everest on my own, smashed my face on my knee because it was really slidey.
Yeah.
One thing I learned about Tough Mudder, which was kind of which I should have known, is there's this whole like chat about the camaraderie and doing obstacles together and supporting each
Yes.
other through. But what I didn't really take into account was the fact that that meant that some of the obstacles, it just wasn't possible for me to do them solo. I just never really, even though I knew that, I never really
Oh,
thought it
yeah, yeah, yeah.
through.
There are definitely
And that kind of, I didn't like that really. And I thought like, it's fine, but there's, I think there were about 500 people running. So there were points where I just had to
okay.
kind of wait for a guy to come along to help me. And I didn't.
Like what obstacle are you talking about?
So the hero walls, I did one by myself. And that was okay, but I bruised.
Ooh,
And
that's a good
because
one.
it was a good one. And then it's not that I couldn't do them, but because of my neck and shoulders, there was a lot that I couldn't do. So the next one I got
Yeah.
help with. And then a lumberjack, which wasn't, it's not terrible, but they were quite high. Did one by myself, and then I was like, I jolted my neck, so I got help on another one. Mudderhorn couldn't do on my own. Anything that required like neck shit. So that kind of screwed me over.
Lumberjack is just the
It's
beam you
like
have to get over.
it's like a sternum checker, but yeah.
Okay. What's
So
that
I
diamond?
knew
Yeah.
that, yeah,
Like diamond shaped.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it gets you on the way over.
Yeah, it does. So then something happened, and like it's really, really weird, and I've still not worked it out because I wasn't cold. My neoprene was fine. It was not a cold night. It was beautiful weather. I was having a really good time, and this is kind of pathetic, but it's true. As a woman who's also like, I mean, technically a single mom, certainly as a woman, I don't get to go out running in the dark by myself around fields. So I was really
Understood.
enjoying running in the dark under the stars. That was lovely.
Mhm.
I don't often get to go out at night because I'm at home with a kid. So it was nice just being out in an evening. So there were things that I was really enjoying. I wasn't cold.
Oh, nice.
My temperature was fine, and I wasn't tired. Like, yeah, up on the hill on the second lap, like I stopped for a few seconds, took a gel, and then carried on walking and just like power hiked up the hill. But I finished my second lap running. And then I got back to the pit and I just couldn't go out again. And I was so confused with what was going on because I'd done 2 laps. I said to Dustin, who was in the pit, and I was like, the second lap is going to take me 1 hour and 40 minutes because the obstacles are open and I'm going to go slower. It took me 1 hour, 39 and 36 seconds. So my prediction was spot on. Like I knew, like it was everything was going to plan. And my goal was 4 laps. So I was well within my goal.
Yeah.
I just couldn't go out again.
Huh.
And it was really weird. And then it was technically it was for the best because I ended up having a really bad tummy. Like I genuinely nearly vomited several times throughout the night. So I couldn't eat anything. And then I didn't eat anything. I struggled to drink. I only really drank by about midday the next day. And then I only really ate late afternoon the next day. So technically it would have sucked if I'd gone out because I wouldn't have had any nutrition and any liquid. But I didn't know that at the time. That wasn't why I stopped. And I still can't work out why I stopped because everything was fine. There was no reason to stop.
So it was like mental?
I guess so, but I don't know what because I was having a good time. It wasn't like the most exciting thing I've ever done. Like it wasn't like I was like, "Man, I'm pumped for this." But it wasn't like, "Oh, this is so hard. I can't keep doing it." There was none of that. It was just fine. Like it was fine. Like I'm not saying, "Oh, it was really easy." I found it. Of course, I didn't find it easy. If I found it easy, I would have won. But it wasn't. I wasn't like super struggling. I was just taking it at my own pace. But one thing that I can say is I went into it to learn more about overnight Tough Mudder for when I do World's Toughest Mudder coverage. And if I'd gone round and done my 4 laps super easy and then just finished, I wouldn't have learned a thing. I would have just been like, well, that was a race.
You learned about the mental aspect of it.
I learned
a
lot about the mental aspect and the frustration of the mental aspect.
Which is such a huge part.
And I'm so confused still. I am so confused. So
yeah.
I think what I might do, like not this year, but maybe next year, maybe I'll do like an infinity during the day so I don't have the nighttime shit to compete with and just see like how much I could go. Because like my shoulders are sore, my legs aren't sore. And I want to say like I've not run 10 miles since last year when I did the marathon. I ain't doing any training. Like don't be misunderstood. Yeah. So it's amazing that my body gave me 10 miles so easily. So I don't even know.
That's the thing. And, you know, I've talked about that with, well, just with Will Hicks over the years and doing like podcasts with him after Worlds or before Worlds or whatever. And it's like, and I talk with the new people who haven't done it before about it is like, I always try to explain that you're going to have, we call them dark laps or crap laps or whatever, which is like, even if you're having a great race at some point in the middle of the night or whatever, you just have a lap or 2 or 3, maybe, where there's just, even though things are going okay, or maybe you are struggling, you just feel horrible. You feel like crap.
It would have been really helpful if you'd had this conversation with me before I did the race.
We didn't really have a chance to it's not like we get together every week and talk about OCR things.
We never talk. We never talk about anything.
We don't. So. But yes, but that's the thing is I try to espouse to first timers is like everybody has that. Well, maybe Ryan Atkins doesn't have those, but most people have those laps. And the thing is just to know that like what you don't want to do is just like go back to your pit and sit and just be like, Mrr.
So like, what I should have done at that point is I shouldn't have gone back to the pit. So the first time I went back to the pit because I was getting changed, I was putting on neoprene.
Or do a quick pit. Do they have a quick pit set up?
No, I could have set that up. The first time was fine, and I sat down and I had a bit of tea and stuff. And then the second time, because I was whinging, I then got freezing cold. What was that?
Did you see that?
No, what was it?
A little a little like mind bubble with a thumbs up popped up.
Yes, I then got freezing cold and then I was screwed. But what I should have done is all I needed in that lap was some extra gels. So I should have just told Dustin to meet me at the fence, hand me some gels, give me a drink, and I would have been on my merry way. That's what 100%. I should have done. And then,
but that's okay. That's how we know.
After I'd done the third lap, then I would have got my obstacle bypass. And then by that point, when Arctic Enema was open, which is the one I really didn't want to do, I would have skipped it. So then I would have never had to done it. So buddy.
But sounds like a learning experience.
That it was.
Good. Did they do rolling obstacle openings, or do they just go boom, everything's open?
No, rolling.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that seems to be the way they like to do it, which makes sense. It prevents a lot of backups at obstacles and
there was no obstacle backup.
What was your favorite part? What would you say take away from the whole thing? Like, man, I really enjoyed this part of it.
Being out. Firstly, being
Yeah.
on the top of that hill as the sun went down was just
Ooh, very nice.
gorgeous. Like really,
Yeah.
really beautiful views in Yorkshire. And then being out in the dark, not being cold, not being hot, just being perfect, even when they were soaking wet, with the stars out, just running by myself in the fields. I think that was it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. That's
obstacles,
cool. I
you know
totally get it.
what? If there'd been no obstacles, I wouldn't have had an issue carrying on. I would have just kept running throughout the night, walking, hiking, and running. It was the idea of doing the obstacles and hurting my shoulders and getting
Yeah.
super cold, I think, that really killed me. But if it'd just been running,
Sure.
I wouldn't, and I don't like running, but I would have been cool. I would have just gone out again.
Yeah. I think um anybody who's done like an endurance, like a toughest or world's toughest like that can point to some point during the night where they had just some kind of a cool experience. Has nothing to do necessarily with an obstacle or whatever. It's just like, oh, like in Vegas, there was always just like, oh my gosh, I was tired and I whatever, but I was like, there was this one obstacle like where you had to like just basically lay on your back and kind of float across this little inlet. And it's just like when the sun's coming up and you're in your wetsuit and you're semi buoyant and you're just kind of like ears are under the water and it's quiet, like you're in your bathtub as a kid, or whatever, and you're just kind of floating there as the sun comes up. It's just, yeah, there's visuals like that
Mm.
that just kind of like catch you in the middle of the race, and they end
Yeah.
up being some of your favorite moments. So
Yeah.
I
And,
totally
and
understand
taking
that.
that moment to enjoy that thing rather
Yeah,
than, you know.
yeah.
I
So
did.
good.
There
Well,
were
I'm glad.
points where I kind of stopped because we were going up the hill and the sunset was behind, and there were points where I just stopped and turned around. And that was even on like probably on the second lap that was, and just like, this is fucking beautiful.
Yeah, love it.
What a treat.
That's awesome.
Mm.
Everyone having a good time out there, it seemed like.
Yeah, I chatted to a lot of people, as I do. I'm a very chatty person. A lot of people do not watch our World's Toughest Mudder coverage because they had no idea. But
What,
yeah, people
like our
enjoy
show in general? They had no idea that we existed.
of the World's Toughest Mudder coverage, yeah. Like, because I was, sometimes I wouldn't say that all the time, but like people are asking why you're doing it, and partly I was like, well, I want to experience what it's like, and then we'd get into the conversation as to
Oh, you mean
why,
our
and
OCR? Okay, good.
the OCR report
Gotcha.
World's Toughest Mudder coverage. So we need to, we need to publish that more. But yeah, people were didn't it's not a ton of women. There weren't very many women. I spoke to a lot more men. I chatted to a
Yeah.
couple of women, but it was very, very male heavy.
Did anybody say, "Hey, Fran, I got to be honest. I really like that new show that you and Carlo are doing."
No, one person did say, "Hey, it's Fran. I listened to your podcast," and I was like, "You listen to me waffle a lot, then," and run off.
Hey,
But no,
so
I'm sorry,
no.
no one said that.
Could you at least lied and been like, I forgot to tell you. It
Oh my
it could
God, I
even
did. Oh no, I did forget to tell you. This one guy was like, "I've seen that new stuff you've been doing on YouTube. It's really good fun, and I appreciate you bringing some levity back into the community and brightening our day."
who's this person?
I think his name was Mr. Nobody.
Like for real?
No, no one said that.
Did he have a big beard?
Yes,
Like red beard?
yes,
Are you making that up?
yes.
God. Because there is a gentleman who I know from Worlds and stuff who fits that description. But
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying that because you said, could you not have just lied and made something up? So I lied and made something up, and then you thought I was being genuine.
wait, the whole part of it was a lie or
Yeah,
just the
nobody said
description?
anything nice about the show. I thought that was going to be obvious.
Oh, did you see my thin spot when I did that? Oh no. Now I'm
Oh,
all self-conscious.
my thin spot is right here.
Whoa.
Hmm.
That looks like you were trying to like trim your hairline for a really bad reason and you went like
No.
and then your dog went, "Mom," and you were like, "What?" And then
Yeah, that's my thin spot, I guess. Yeah.
crazy.
Hmm.
So, uh anything more about the event you'd like to speak on, or should we talk about maybe who won the races?
Let's stop talking about me because I wasn't very interesting. I did 10 laps. I didn't come last in my age group.
You did 10 laps?
No, I did 10 miles.
Oh, there you go.
I did 10 miles. I didn't come last in my age group at least though. But it's
Who
actually
did?
a
You want to
bit
shout her out? You want to shout her out? What's her name? Let's get her.
I don't remember, but I have more respect for her than I have for me because other people did 10 laps and it took them like 6 to 7 hours, which meant they really worked a lot harder than I did. Because I did 2 laps and then shivered in a tent for 6 hours.
Not to say you didn't work hard.
Oh, I didn't work hard.
Fran.
I didn't know. Let's be honest. If I worked hard, I would have done more. Like,
All right, fair.
I'm
Fair.
being honest. I am nothing if not honest.
painfully honest sometimes.
Yeah, people tell me that.
But you know what? That's why we love you. So it's okay.
I can't change it. Can't change it. So let's talk about who won.
Let's do that.
So do you wanna
Yes.
start with do you wanna read out the numbers and I'll tell you about the people that I know?
Yes, I will. So let's start with women.
Yeah.
How about that? For
Yeah,
the
a
women,
recognizable name for the first place of
yes,
women.
and if I get her last name wrong, please correct me. With 9 laps was first place, women's Europe's Toughest Mudder champion, Nikki Carumba.
Nikki Carumba.
Nikki Carumba. How
Who
do you
we've
know Nikki
spoken
Carumba?
I don't know her personally, but we've spoken about her a lot at World's Toughest
I
Mud.
believe we have.
We've that name has come up a lot. So I saw her
Cool.
name and I was like, that is a World's Toughest Mudder name. That's someone we've spoken about. Therefore, she's going to do well. And she did.
Yes.
She did well. She came first.
At a girl.
Well done, Miss Carumba.
Second place with 8 laps was Louise Ferriman.
A
And in third
British
place,
racer. She races for Rumble Fitness.
oh, there you go. Also with 8 laps in third place was Jackie Baugh.
I do not know anything about her. Well done.
I don't, but I do know there used to be a famous American football player long before my time called Slingin' Sammy Baugh. I don't think they're related. For the men, a name we've heard before. And in fact, a guy that you shouted out on our show. What was it called? The Backyard Jam? Nope. Okay. I don't know if the eating the ice is the best idea when we're trying to do a show where we talk, Fran. But I mean, you do you, girl. That's fine.
Farmyard Jam.
Farmyard Jam. There you go.
But funnily enough, Backyard Jam was a race that a guy called Doug the Beard Spence used to put on back in the day in like 2015, 2016. He was the race director of a brand in the UK called the Dirty Dozen. And he had a whole setup in his backyard. And he used to put on once a year by invite only the Backyard Jam.
Very nice. I did not know that. But we weren't talking about the Backyard Jam. I mean, I was technically because I didn't realize I was supposed to be talking about the Farmyard Jam, which was won by the same man who won Europe's Toughest Mudder 2024, and that is Dazos Gonella.
Daz. So yeah, we mentioned him a couple of weeks ago. He'd got a really, really, really good marathon time at the London Marathon, and then he went on to smash the Farmyard Jam, and we spoke about him, and I didn't have his marathon time, but it was fast. He is an exceptionally lovely human being as well. Like, I mean, aside from obviously being a very good athlete, I just want to shout out what a lovely human he is. If you're ever in the UK and you go to Nuclear, he and his brother run a cafe called Ethos, and it's completely vegan. He's vegan. And they just make delicious food, but he's also a really, really nice person.
You said if we go to where? What city?
Nuclear Races. It's where OCRWC was hosted in 2018 and 2019.
Nuclear Races.
Sorry, Nuclear Races.
Nuclear.
Okay. So yeah, I saw him before the race and I said, how are you going? Because there's quite a bit of competition there. I said, how are you hoping to do? And he was like, well, I want to win. And I was like, good. And he did.
That's a good attitude to have if you're somebody who thinks you can win.
And he had very good support from his lady friend, Becky Neal. She was, they had a very good pit setup and she was very supportive. It was great. And I'm very happy.
That's very helpful.
Yeah.
So there you go. Dazos was our winner.
Well done, Dazos.
With 9 laps. Also with 9 laps, 25 minutes behind Dazos was Grant Thompson. He took second place.
He passed me when I was on my second lap. He came through at Pyramid Scheme and there was only one rope going at that point. So we were all having to wait. And they're like, let the front runner through. Let the front runner through. I'm like, get out the
Contender coming through. Contender coming through.
And that was him.
Usually they'll say that. Or they can say that. They have the
right.
He
was probably on his 5th lap at that point if I was on my second lap.
Good for him. And then in third place, 7 minutes behind Grant was Russell Walsh, who came in third place.
Very well done, Russell.
And I believe that the screenshot of the results that I have actually has the top 5, but I didn't write down the top 5, so I apologize to number 4 and number 5 for the men and women. But you can see your name here. So that was that.
Yeah. So this is a very Tough Mudder heavy episode, but really? I mean, it's been a very Tough Mudder heavy week. So
it has. It's been a kind of a fun week to learn about all the different things that are going to be happening and learn about the area. Oh, I'd be remiss. We actually when people leave comments, I tend to read them just because I'm curious what people are saying. And an astute listener who you know well, named Melissa Linden, pointed out,
Big fan of her.
she actually pointed out that we didn't have a weather report in our
Oh, Melissa, why
world's.
would you point that out?
Yeah, because guess who else saw that?
Jack
Yeah, the
Doris.
insufferable one, our little friend Jack Goris. So to make Jack and more importantly, Melissa
Melissa.
happy, please enjoy this. Oh, by the way, he wanted a minute this week, and I told him, actually, I didn't tell him this, but he's not getting a minute. He's getting 30 seconds. So he
Maybe a
probably
minute.
sent me a minute-long clip, and here is 30 seconds of his minute-long clip in something we call the Jack Goris 30-second worldwide weather report. Take it away, Jack.
The weather is back. I had to take a week off due to being forgotten by my team over at Carlo and Fran. Just totally forgot. And it hurt. And I had all my fans notice, like Melissa, thank you. Jack, also thank you. So the weather in San Francisco is 66, Manhattan, New York, 85, Rio de
I didn't even preview it. It's probably
That's
insufferable.
terrible. Oh, God.
I just edited it at 30 seconds and let it go. So there we go.
So there we go.
That was our community news.
Community news.
Community news. Who
Community
likes to
news.
snooze on community
Community
news?
news.
Man, I don't sing well at all. But you know what? I've made a special edition of sponsors we wish
we
had.
had.
That'd be tough to make the graphics because we were saying the same word after each other.
We were saying it at the same time. On my end, we were saying it at the same time.
Oh, maybe we got some leggy leg.
Leggy
So,
leg.
in honor of World's Toughest Mudder moving to the UK next year, I did a little research on some British products that I thought would be great to be sponsored by.
Jason had the Tunnix tea cakes as part of his pit, and he really enjoyed them. Do you remember we spoke a couple of weeks ago?
He sent me a picture of them, and I was like, "How are they?" He said, "They're delicious."
Yeah.
Yes, they looked actually quite nice.
Really quite nice.
So there are two sponsors that I wish we had for this episode, and please keep in mind, I know nothing of these products. I just thought they came up on my list when I literally typed
what are they going to be?
UK foods.
Okay.
Marmite yeast extract.
Yeah, delicious Marmite.
What is Marmite yeast extract? You're probably asking yourself. Well, it's a dark brown savory spread made from yeast that is a byproduct of the brewing industry. The name comes from the French word marmite, which is a stock pot or a cooking pot, like the one shown on the front of the Marmite jar.
I probably would say that the French word was something more like marmite, not Marmite. Yeah, that's a good
spelled
one.
The same way, Fran. It's spelled the same way.
Pronounced.
What?
So Marmite, the tagline is you either love it or you hate it, and it's a thing that you say, like you would say about me. Oh, she's a bit like Marmite, and that everyone would understand either you like me or you really hate me.
Oh, nice.
No
I like
kind
that.
of in between. So like,
I'm gonna start using that at work, and no one's gonna know what the hell I'm talking about.
But that's what you mean, like when you say like it's a bit, it's a bit Marmite.
Well, I gotta be honest. Go ahead.
So either you really like it or you really don't. It's likened to Vegemite, but I think it's very different to Vegemite. However, what I would say actually no, it's very good for World's Toughest Mudder because it's very, very salty. It's very salty, and how I eat it personally is I get a piece of buttered toast and I just put tiny dots of it on. So there's it's so tasty. However, what I would say is instead of Marmite, and this might be your next product, I would suggest Bovril instead.
What?
So Bovril is like a beefy drink. I don't drink it because it's not vegan, but like it's like a hot.
It's like broth?
Kind of.
Okay.
And you drink it, but like it's good for when you're cold, and it's salty, and so yeah, I like Marmite, but I'm also going to suggest Bovril. Very British.
I would say to the Marmite people, from a marketing standpoint, when someone says, describe your product, and they say, yes, we make a dark brown savory spread made from yeast. That just doesn't, to me, I'm not like, yeah, I can't wait to eat that. Can't wait to eat that dark brown. Why?
I don't know. I don't do this.
That dark brown savory spread. But you know what
Marmite
though?
doesn't need any, and everyone knows what Marmite is, so nobody needs to be.
Well, I didn't.
Yeah, I know, but you're not English.
I'm representing the Americans that are coming back to our original homeland.
So what you just say is, you know, it's indescribable. You just have to try it, and either you love it or you hate it. It's safe.
Did you know we have a second sponsor, by the way?
I'm just explaining Marmite. Like, there's no need
that I wish we had.
Okay.
Yes, I did not know this was going to turn into a whole thing, though.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I brought something up with Fran, and I didn't realize it was going to turn into a whole thing. I
didn't know it was going to turn into a conversation.
Oh my God.
I was just going for look at the funny thing with the weird description. And Fran's like, let me tell you all about it. When I was in primary school, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, though. I do appreciate the knowledge because I would not have known that. Our other sponsor that we wish we had today is Burton's Fish and Chips, crisp and salt and vinegar baked snacks. They're crackers that are shaped like fish, Fran. If you're looking for a lunchbox snack, then look no further. These make a fantastic alternative to crisps, whatever that means, without having to sacrifice any of the flavor. Each fish or crisp shaped cracker is packed full of flavor, so you're left feeling absolutely absolutely satisfied. Satisfied. The word is satisfied.
Yeah, I understand that you wouldn't.
Burton's Fish and Chips Crisps. That's a long title. Burton's Fish and Crisps. That's the company. And these are called crisp and thin salt and vinegar baked snacks. I keep pausing at weird parts in that sentence.
It's been such a long week.
So I like salt and vinegar stuff.
So do I. Love salt and vinegar.
And these basically are salt and vinegar crackers shaped like fish.
Okay.
And that to me seemed delicious.
I wouldn't say that they're like the British thing that we need to have. I would.
Well, it was on the British food website, Fran. I don't know what to tell you.
Look, okay, listen. Bovril Tunnocks tea cakes. Tea.
Well, you want to go with all the typical traditional stuff. I would have seemed like a...
Bovril and Tunnocks tea cakes aren't typical stuff. They're interesting. You hadn't heard of them.
Fran,
Marmite, you did well with Marmite, okay?
I'm going to send you a strongly worded letter about your attitude today. Just so you know. Don't give sad. No, not doing sad eyes. Oh, I'm sad. Oh, actually, that segues perfectly into stop it, Fran. Jeez. No puppy eyes. But that segues perfectly into my thoughts on things. Would you like to know my question for the week for thoughts on things?
Yeah.
Fran, what was the last thing that made you cry?
Oh my God.
That was real. That's legit what I said.
Oh, someone died.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone died.
Someone died, and it made me cry.
Fair.
Which is why we skipped an episode, because someone died, and I had to fly.
I'm sorry that someone died, but if ever there was a reason to skip an episode, a death in the family, that's you know.
Yeah. Actually, and what happened was it was after we'd been to his wife sent a video of like a nice little montage of him being a kid and then growing up, and it made me cry.
That would definitely do it. So
that was very well segued in. And now it just looks like I'm crying because I was trying to make myself cry, not because you made me cry.
Well, I remember you actually cried in one of the episodes just because we were talking about scary things.
Yeah, that's why I'm not in the cellar anymore.
Exactly. Oh, really?
No, but kind of.
I mean, not a bad idea. So
What was the last thing that made you cry?
Same question for me. Yes, I cried last Saturday night. And it's because I don't know if you know this, but I have a dog who is dying. She's got cancer.
Ending the show on a really sad note.
Yes, we are. I'm so glad you guys stuck around for the powerful ending. So, but no, in a happy note. So her name is Peachy, and she is a little pit bull. She's not with me right now. She's at my daughter's house. But my friends, who are incredible, we threw basically like a little celebration of life party for her while she's still alive, and it was peach themed, and people bought peach food and peach decorations and wore peach clothing, And we had her out on the back deck, and it was a big barbecue thing. And she got to, and people brought her treats, and it was all about just loving Peachy and giving her all kinds of love and affection and attention. And I held it together at the event. And then when I got back to my place and kind of like took a minute to kind of decompress, and I'd been kind of drinking my feelings, if I'm being honest, I had a little moment where I was like, okay, I can let go now. And it was like, so it was like happy, sad tears, but it was a culmination of like, what a wonderful group of friends I have. And they did this amazing thing, not just for me, but for my dog. And everyone was doting upon her. And yeah, so not tears that I was afraid of, so that was nice. And I really hope we have something else that we could get into really quick before we end the show. So
That's
that
a really heavy ending.
Yeah, it was.
I don't want to go to bed crying.
Do you have any thoughts on things, or you don't have to? We did not prepare for that, but it's just kind of nice to know about if you did. Because if you did, then we talk about it. Do Max Verstappen, or whatever that was.
Do 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 do. Max Verstappen. Doom boom boom boom. Max Verstappen. No.
This has been episode 10.
It's so bad.
It's just, I'm gonna say it in a somber voice. Thank you for watching episode 10 of Fran and Carlo Get OCR Adjacent. We are now going to slink back to our sad, sad lives.
Carlo, this was not fun.
It was not, Fran, but maybe we should do it again
next week.
next week.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.